folks, that's me in the car. Finished work half day today, done my hours, and going to be driving up the M5 to go to Sandwell Field Sports. And I've been waiting for this day since the 14th of June, which is when I was last time at Sandwell Field Sports, and it was their open day. When I went up there, I dropped off my HW98, and Tony basically said to me he's going to do the new record trigger conversion on it for me, which is something what Sandwell are looking at doing in the future for the public. So really looking forward to getting hold of it. I have missed shooting my 98, and hopefully tonight I'll be out with it and Davey, and hopefully we'll get a few rabbits in the bag with it. Oh, thank you, yeah, thank you very much. That's an interesting rifle there. Okay, that's the new Hudson Gallatin. Just had a go of it. It's obviously got some sort of shroud on it, quite a big cylinder. And if you notice, it's got rails on the side and the top for the scope. Right, I'm just freehanding the camera here, and I've come to pick up my tuned HW98. What John's just done the trigger conversion on, and also reset the power for me with Falcon Accuracy Plus. I wonder if you could tell the subscribers a little bit about the trigger conversion and what's been done to it, John.
Right, the trigger, you've got basically how the trigger works with a leverage perspective. The blade is moved slightly forward in the actual trigger unit. You've had a full polish with all the sears. We've got an adjustment screw that's been fitted to the trigger blade. The trigger blade's also been reprofiled as well. The adjustment screw allows for your first stage travel, and basically the Varrock trigger unit, the record trigger unit, you've got no sort of like adjustment for length of first stage travel. It's only weight as such, if you know what I mean. So with all the modifications that we've done, it makes the trigger really nice. It's really sweet. You have got a slightly your blade is moved slightly forward fractionally. Yeah. But for most people that don't you know, it's no problem. We can improve it as well with a setback trigger as well. We could fit a setback trigger to it as well, which moves it slightly back as well. But we've got some things in the pipeline now. We can do a full match unit with a fully adjustable frame type trigger, where you move your trigger blade down, and you've got basically for your blade, for the pad of your finger as well, we can move it angle wise as well.
Alright, yeah.
So we're going to do one of them as well.
So it'll fit the shape of your finger when you're gripping.
Yeah, you can tailor it then to your own needs basically. And yeah, we got these in process. They're not going to be sort of like available just yet. Yeah. So, you know, when the guys that are field testing them, we'll get the reports and see what they say. But I think so far, so good.
Yeah, it looks really nice. And going upstairs in a little while, and I'll have a few tests, a few shots. And I think John's got a trigger unit, what he's about to do in the back, and he's going to talk us through it and basically show us what gets done.
Exactly what sort of things we do.
Okay.
Okay, that's your standard record trigger unit.
Yep.
The way it works is basically you've got two rollers on the blade, which gives you your first stage. As you sort of pull the trigger, the first stage engages on this bar. What we do is you're lengthening the bar in effect with the leverage perspective on the trip sear down here. And what that does, it gives you more control over the trigger. Although you've got a longer stage, it gives you more sear engagement too. So it actually makes the trigger a little bit more safer.
Yeah.
You know, it's safe with a light trigger.
Yeah.
You know, with a very light trigger. You can adjust the record down so your trigger is very, very light, but the sear engagement is very, very minimal.
Yeah.
Then you've got the risk of jarring the gun.
Yeah, and it's not going to go off.
Having it going off and you don't want it to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So what we do, not only does it make the trigger more responsive in that respect. It also makes it a little bit safer when it's set very light as well. We've put an adjustment screw in as well there for adjustment on the first stage as well. This is totally got rid of this section. So that goes completely. That does.
I've seen people bend them up for some reason.
Yeah, they bend them basically. It's basically a variation of what we're actually trying to achieve, in the fact that that is what controls your initial first stage. Well, because you've got the grub screw in there, and that plate, this tab, is got rid of completely. I mean, you can see it's made to actually be bent to whatever shape. I mean, the factory set anyway. But what we do basically involves moving it forward. You're getting rid of that with all the rest of the work that we do with the honing for certain places on the trigger system. It makes the trigger a lot more responsive. There's a lot of work involved. Full strip down on the trigger, everything's polished.
What sort of how many sort of hours does it take you to do one of them?
I think hours wise, you're talking roughly about 4 hours work
for one person.
For one person. But I mean, when you're sharing it between between two as well, you can drop that down a bit as well. But for one person to do it start to finish, you're looking at 4 hours.
And that's all polished and everything.
I mean, it shoots like a different trigger completely after it's done.
Is it sort of like match grade when it's done?
It's match grade, match grade.
We've looked at the Rekord trigger before it's been adjusted, and John's spoke a little bit about it. But I've took the stock off my 98, and just want to show you this as well. Contrary to people's belief, on some forums they say that Sandwell just fill their guns with grease to tune them. That's not the case, and Tony does take that quite to heart. You can see there's minimal grease in there, and the tuning job is expertly done by Sandwell. It's not just filled with grease. Anyway, I'm digressing. Here you can see the reprofiled trigger blade, and it's a nice one, thinner than the actual Rekord one. And for people who are quite astute with a Rekord unit, you'll be aware that there's usually a bar at the back here, what people bend, and John mentioned it, to get their first stage travel. That's been removed, and if I can stand the gun up like so on my beanbag, hopefully if I can get it into a position, you can see here one of the parts of the trigger. It's like a mirror finish, it's been polished there. The back of the trigger blade, just there, you can see the grub screw, what John mentioned, what is fitted, and hopefully I can get the camera in position, trying to freehand everything. Just in there you can see also part of the trigger with a bit of grease on it, and you can see that it's actually a mirror finish there as well. And looking through the back, in that hole there, you can see there's parts of the trigger there what's all been highly polished, and like John said, all the insides have been reworked and reshaped so each part fits each other snugly I should say. And it makes a hell of a difference. I can tell you now that this trigger is aiding in accuracy, and the rifle was accurate anyway, but now it's just easy accuracy, and I think most of it is to do with how good this trigger is. Right, so we're upstairs now in Sandwell Field Sports range, and I'm going to try the 98 after the work what's been done on it. And as I said before, John's retuned this now to 11.45 foot-pounds with Falcon Accuracy Plus, and that, if you can, I'll just listen to that, no noise whatsoever, it's smooth as silk. And I've got a Falcon here, and I'm going to have to zero the scope anyway, but I'm interested in the trigger at the minute. This will be interesting, John. Alright, so first stage, nice short first stage. Whoa, that's lovely. That's lovely. That's hardly any pressure whatsoever.
That's how you like it, innit, mate?
Yeah, that is mint. That is really good. And the scope's not that actually far off either. Try that again. See that pellet mark. That now, and I'm going to say this, and I know I'm probably going to get slated on a lot of forums because they'll say, oh, you always say this and you always say that, but that is the nicest trigger I've ever shot on any spring piston rifle ever in my life, and I swear on my kid's life, I'm not just saying it because I'm up here with you, that is the nicest trigger I've ever shot.
Cheers, mate. Well, look, we know you like them, so you know that's how they're going to be.
These are going to sell like hotcakes when you do them, I tell you that now. So is this the same exactly the same thing what you did to Davis, is it?
It's exactly the same in one respect, but that what you've got now is like the final product of what it's going to be out. They're all going to be like that now from now on.
That's just amazing. It seems to, everything seems to be nice about it. Everything. That I can't get over that. Scope's not that off either. That is absolute brilliant. That, you could expect that on a top of the range PCP to be as good as that.
It's as good as anything in it.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, like you say, you know, it's the Rekord unit at the end of the day as well. I mean, you know, what you can do with it as well. So it's infinitely tunable like the rifles.
Yeah, and just for the subscribers at home, people on Vermin Hunters TV group, Facebook group know this, but this is not going on sale yet, is it? This
no,
is,
not as yet.
There's a couple out.
That's the final product, how they will be when they go on sale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our workload at the moment is such that we need to, you know, get through some of the rifles that we've got in for tuning and repair, and basically when they're sort of like cleared, that little bit of a backlog's cleared, we'll be going into like production on these triggers anyway then.
Yeah.
And they're gonna. We don't know exactly what the price is going to be, but it's going to be sort of upwards of 80 quid.
Between 80 and 100, you
reckon? Between 80 and 100 quid. I mean, it's 4 hours of work, so
yeah.
You know, it's you know, it needs to sort of like be around that price. But the work we put in, you know, and the other thing is with each trigger as well. Each trigger's different as well. So how can you put it? The way that the sears and some of the parts are machined as well, they do need more work than others as well.
Yeah.
So with each individual trigger, you know, it'll vary, but what we aim to do is get the same result every time.
Consistency.
Consistency, yeah.
That's just gone in, same old after that last final adjustment. That's mint, absolutely mint. Thanks very much for that.
Cheers, mate.
We'll
Thank you.
definitely get plenty of testing done on this and report back. But and you say that can actually be adjusted even more if you want.
It can be adjusted even more. Tailor it to what you want, basically.
Christ, I mean that is nice now. But if someone who really likes, you know, like a super fine trigger, you're going to get that.
It will no longer adjust in the way that the standard trigger does as well. So
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of improvement there on a Rekord, and a Rekord's good anyway.
Yeah.
But that is something else. Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Okay then, so I'll zoom in. This is at 51 metres. So what I'm going to do, put the crosshair on the joint pin and knowing that the pellet's going to drop low, or the group. And I'm just testing my left and right. I'm going to have to do this all again, probably in a few days' time anyway. Or I'll re-zero when I get the Matt Windsor silencer fitted. You can see it's pretty accurate, this gun. Mind you, this trigger, way John's done this trigger at Sandwell, it really does make for accurate shooting. Let's hope I can get this one somewhere near. What about that for a group? Now, so you don't think I'm tricking you with the range to this. That is a group what some PCPs would probably struggle to do at this range. So while it's still zoomed in, I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to try my hardest, which is not going to be easy, to get this on, because I've got sun's in my eye. Well, this magnification, there you go, 51 meters. If I zoom out, you'll see it, 51 meters. Sorry about that, folks, that took some time, but I wanted to prove to you. And now we're going to have a look at the group. Well, as you can see, I've come up to the target at 51 meters, which is around about 56 yards. And here is the HW98. So just going to zoom in a little bit onto the actual target, so we can have a look at it. So my crosshair, as you can see, point of aim was there, knowing that it'd drop, and according to my calibration on the scope cap, I needed it to drop around about 1 3/4 mil dots, which it has perfectly. So the calibration, and 3 shots, as you saw, 5p. Where is it? In fact, if I put the 5p next to it like so, you can probably agree the group is probably 3/4 of a 5p piece, and that's at 56 yards. So pretty amazing. Now, I've used this board quite a lot, so I can't promise things here, but if I maybe use this 5p to move this, keep my finger there, and then just there. That's a 2-2 there. Hope you can see there that group of pellets there are all falcons, and the actual rifle has actually stacked them on top of each other. There, look, 3 of them. Now that is pretty astonishing accuracy. And the good thing about this, the trigger what John at Sandwell's done helped me get this, because it's set absolutely perfect. So you get a nice first stage, as I said earlier on when I was at Sandwell, and I've lightened it a tiny little bit to what it was when I was in Sandwell, and it's allowing me to shoot accurately like this, and I'd be happy with that with PCP at this range. Right, I'm sat 38 metres away from like a pile of cut down branches and logs, and it's a hot spot. I've just been told where the rabbits are coming out, so I'll spin round and hopefully be able to show you where I'm shooting. Zoom in. Pan up. There, in that pile there. First customer of the day, 1/2 mil dot old over the 98, and as you saw, down he goes. far. I managed to get within about probably 10 metres of it before it stuck its head up. Nice place shot though, easy though at 10 metres. 1 mil dot of hold over, zeroed at 29 metres in 177. Nice kill there, straight over for the Sandwell Field Sports 98.